Hello everyone, back to you in today's second video. Going to have a look at the weather next 10 to 14 days for today's second video. So day 10 is going to take us around the 30th of July. We'll be able to extend out beyond that, the extended GFS and ECM ensembles run to a couple of weeks, 14 days. That's going to take us into the first week of August. And we'll have a look at CFSB2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks. That will take us into the second half of August. So we are running down the clock now with these videos in towards the latter stages of the summer of 2020, can you believe? I haven't had much of a summer yet, but there we go. We'll see what the models got to say about the weather for the next 10 to 14 days and beyond in a moment. Just to say that the first video released today was the ECMGF Measure France and GWV Long Range update. I normally release that on a Sunday, but because I had last week off, it's a little bit delayed. So that has been released. First video up today. And later on this afternoon, sort of early evening UK time, we're going to have the latest update for the United States as well. Our latest USA forecast will be released later on today. Now, before I do anything else, I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping from before my break. So, on the final live stream before I went off on my break, we picked up a new channel member during that live stream. I always give shout-outs to channel members and people who give us donations through PayPal and Patreon as well. Got one of those to do tomorrow. But today, I'm going to shout out to the channel member that we picked up in the final live stream before my break. So I'm going to say thank you so much for becoming a channel member to Vaping with Vic. Thank you so much, Vaping with Vic, for becoming a channel member for GavsWeatherVids. Vaping with Vic is also a patron for GavsWeatherVids too. So yeah, just a huge thank you to you, Vaping with Vic, for becoming a GavsWeatherVids channel member. It's absolutely amazing that you've done that. We've now got 41 channel members. Can you believe? I never expected that we would have so many channel members when we started opening the channel up to membership. Back in, I think it's around April, May time. I never expected it at all. So a big thank you to all of our channel members, and of course a special thank you to Vaping with Vic for becoming our most recent channel members during the last live stream I did before I went off on my break. I'm so sorry it's taken so long to give you a shout out, Vic, but there we go. I've done it now anyway, so hopefully that is okay. If you'd like to become a channel member for GavsWeatherVids, all you need to do is come to the GavsWeatherVids YouTube homepage, click the join button. You can see just there's also with videos as well on the channel. Take you to another page where you can see what benefits you get for becoming a channel member, and you can also sign up on that page as well. You can support the channel in other ways also, of course, so by liking the videos, giving us a thumbs up, you are supporting the channel. By watching the videos regularly, you're supporting the channel. By commenting on the videos, you're supporting the channel. And you can also become a subscriber. You can subscribe to the channel as well, become a GavsWeatherVids subscriber. We've got 7,070 subscribers. We hit 7k around 2 or 3 weeks ago. So yes, if you haven't yet subbed the channel, then please do so, and all of these things help to support the channel, and it's absolutely great, absolutely fantastic what you've done for GavsWeatherVids over the past few weeks. So thank you so much to each and every one of you for your support, and a special thank you to Vaping with Vic for becoming our most recent GavsWeatherVids YouTube channel member. Right, let's move on. I'm going to start off by having a look at what's going on in the tropical Atlantic. We've got 2 disturbance areas at the moment. This is from the National Hurricane Center, of course. We've got 1 disturbance area just here in the Caribbean, and 1 over here in the middle of the tropical Atlantic Ocean. Let's see what they're saying about these disturbance areas. So this one in the Caribbean is disturbance 1, with a 0% chance of cyclone formation in the next 28 hours. and just a 20% chance of cyclone formation in the next 5 days. They're saying disorganised showers and thunderstorms over the central Bahamas, central Cuba, and adjacent Atlantic waters are associated with a tropical wave. Environmental conditions could become a little more conducive for development of this system over the Gulf of Mexico. This system is expected to move west-northwestward through the Straits of Florida today, over the southeastern Gulf of Mexico by Tuesday, across the central Gulf on Wednesday, and reach the northwestern Gulf on Thursday. So the disturbance area is going to do something a little bit like that. It's going to move into the Gulf of Mexico, and we have to wait and see whether it develops as it gets into warm waters of the Gulf. Then we've also got this disturbance area just here in the tropical Atlantic. So this is disturbance 2, with a 10% chance of cyclone formation in the next 48 hours. We're saying with this one, a tropical wave located more than 900 miles west-southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands is producing a small area of disorganised showers and thunderstorms. Environmental conditions are expected to be marginally conducive for development of this system during the next few days, while it moves westward at 10 to 15 miles per hour over the tropical Atlantic. By Friday and over weekend, conditions are forecast to become less favourable for tropical cyclone formation. So both of these systems we need to keep an eye on them. At the moment, it doesn't look like either one is going to do a huge amount, but over the next 2, 3, 4 days, things could develop. So we do need to keep a close eye on what's happening with these two disturbance areas, tropical waves, at the moment. So we shall be monitoring that, of course, over the next couple of days, I'm quite sure. Well, coming back closer to home, it's another pretty cool day out there, I have to say. So these are our latest temperature observations from XC Weather. And yeah, got 20 to 21 degrees, 70 Fahrenheit down in the Channel, so 21 there at Le Touquet and 21 down at Le Havre. But into the mainland of the UK, we've got London Gatwick at just 20 degrees. Shoreham is at 20 degrees as well. Southampton is at 20. So down these southern counties, around 20. Probably go to around 21 or 22 later on this afternoon. Up into the Midlands to Western is only at 15 degrees. Church Lawford at just 17. Wellersbourne is at 17, Fairford is at 18, over into East Anglia, Norwich is at 18, Norfolk in the southwest is at 17, Cardingham at 19, got Sennybridge at 16. I saw Sennybridge, I was looking at the observations last night, just very close to midnight. Sennybridge in central Wales last night was at 4 degrees. I don't know how low the temperature went there, like in the early hours, but at around midnight, Sennybridge was at only 4 degrees. That is exceptionally cold. Exceptionally cold for like a mid-July night. And there was still like 2, 3, 4 hours of further potential cooling that could have took place after that. So I don't know where the temperature finally finished last night at Sennybridge, but certainly at midnight it was registering just 4 degrees Celsius, 4 degrees above freezing at midnight on a mid-July night. That's really, really cold. If anybody knows where that minimum finished up at Sennybridge, please let me know in the comments. Rhyll's at 15, Capel is at 13, Valley is at 15. Moving into Northern England, the temperature's very cool there, just 16. Linton, Warcop at just 12 degrees at 12:08. Terrible, really terrible temperatures. Esdelmuir at 12 degrees. South East Scotland, a little bit warm there. Strathallam 17, Dundee at 17, Abbeymoor at 14, Glasgarnock at 11, down into Northern Ireland. Belfast is at just 15, and into the Republic we've got Oak Park, Carlow at 16. These are poor temperatures again. We're probably going to get to around 21 or 22 down on the south coast in the far southeast corner. So low 70s Fahrenheit. I mean, it's going to feel pleasant enough because the sun is very strong. It'll feel okay down in the south this afternoon, obviously because it's midsummer and 21 is, you know, sort of about average, really. You're probably just a little bit under average. You expect, like, mid-July, afternoon temperatures reach 23 down on the south coast, really, 73 Fahrenheit. So even 21 and 22 is slightly under par, really. But it'll feel okay. Further north, though, temperatures remain very, very disappointing, as they have done pretty much through most of this summer. And it's just another one of those days where we're struggling to do anything particularly exciting with the temperatures at all. And so all of this means that we are well on course now for having our first cooler than average month of this year, actually. So this is how the CET is currently shaping up for July. This is provisional to yesterday. It's provisional to the 19th of the month. So we're standing at 15.5. This is from Hadley, of course, at UK Met. We're standing at 15.5. It's an anomaly of 0.4 of a degree below average. That's below 61 to 1990. Of course, we would be further below. Average if we looked at 81 to 2010. Which can't, so that's wrong, isn't it? Yes, so we got 61 to 1990, which is what we're comparing this to. That's 61 to 90, and then if we was comparing it though to 81 to 2010, then it will be further below average. But even against 61 to 1990, around half a degree below average at 15.5. And I'm not seeing a great deal of sign of that altering from there, really, through the final 10 days or so of the month. It may go up and down a little bit, but I think generally we're going to keep the CET in the mid to upper 15s, which will be below average when we come to month end. Of course, we've had January, February, March, April, May, and June, all with above average temperatures. So this will be the first month of the year that is below average, potentially. So this is CET page at GavsWeatherVids. This is showing each month's worth of CET data back to 1659. Of course, the CET is the longest consistent temperature record anywhere on the Earth. Actually, we come down through all of the years, of the decades, of centuries, to 2020. So this month will be placed just here. This month's CET will be placed just there. These are all of the CET months that we've had through this year so far. So, of course, last year we had a pretty warm July, CET 17.5, and then before that, in 2018, we had an exceptionally hot July with 19.1. The last time we had, like, a cooler than average July was 2015 at 15.9 CET. I think we'll probably be a little bit under that. Potentially we'll be around 15.5, 15.6, 15.7, something like that. So that would mean I think we are probably on course to have our coldest or our coolest July since 2012. Just here we have 2012 at 15.5. We'll be quite close to that, I would have thought. So I think this will be like the coolest July that we've had probably for 8 years. Actually, and if we was to come in under that, then the July 2011 at 15.2 was even cooler. So I think we'll either have our coolest July for 8 years or our coolest July for 9 years. But I would suspect we're going to come in just around or ever so slightly above 2012, probably somewhere around 15.6 or 15.7. If we was to come in even cooler than that and we finished up under June's CET, so June had a CET of 15.3, so if this July was to be cooler than the June preceding it, and this was flagged up by our good friend Richard Trott yesterday in the live stream, then the last time that happened was a very, very long time ago. You have to go all the way back to the 1970s. The summer of 1970 had July coming out cooler than June. And that's the last time that happened, I think. So, June 1970 CET came out at 16.4. July 1970 CET came out at 15.2. And there was a little bit of a rebound in August, went back up to 16.0, interestingly. So that's a really long time since that happened. But we had July of a cooler CET than the June before it. But I don't think we'll go that low. I imagine this will come in perhaps around 15 point. Let me get rid of that. I imagine this will come in probably around 15.7. That's where I would anticipate it'll finish, something like that, which will give us, which is a little bit above June CT, and will give us our coolest July since 2012, 8 years ago. But certainly showing up to be a pretty cool month, and of course this goes against GavsWeatherVids summer forecast. We predicted that July would get hotter and hotter as the month went along. So I think we can basically say that the summer forecast is a bust. I'll leave it another couple of weeks before sort of raising the white flag on the summer forecast. But basically, I think the summer forecast has had it really. So we shall see that over the next couple of weeks. Right, these are the 500 mile high dominant flow charts from Penn State University for the next week to 10 days. We've got the ECMWF on the top. The GFS, which we'll have a look in a moment, is on the bottom. 500 millibars is an area in absolute high pressure, low pressure. I'll be moved by the jet stream running above. Red celebrates high pressure, low pressure. You can see that in the 7 to 10 day time frame, these do take us out to day 10, which pretty much takes us month saying the ECM has us in a flat westerly flow, not looking particularly exciting. The GFS is very similar, perhaps a little bit lower with pressure in the North Atlantic actually, but again looking pretty flat and pretty westerly in the 7 to 10 day time frame with both of those models. These are the GFS upper temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. We're at Northampton, local to me today. So red light is 30-year upper air temperature average for Northampton. We're cooler than average at the moment, explaining why we had such a cold night last night through many parts of the country, and temperatures are still struggling despite the sunshine even today. Now we're going to see the temperature lifting up closer to average later on in the week, but never really going above average. So generally it just looks like we keep temperature, you know, kind of average. Maybe some days, you know, going ever so slightly above, other days going ever so slightly below, but nothing particularly exciting happening from a temperature perspective right way through to the first week of August. Precipitation wise, more rainfall spikes coming back, so the next few days look relatively dry, but from the second half of this week onwards into next weekend and then through to next week, we just see an increasing signal for rainfall really. So bouts of rain coming in off the Atlantic through the final week of July and into early August probably, and depressed temperatures. Temperature anomalies from the 20th to 28th of July, a little bit cooler than average for the UK and much of Northern Europe too. Precipitation anomalies from the 20th to 28th of July, a little bit drier than average in the far south, a little bit wetter than average in the far north. Not much of a deviation either way through most parts of the country. And this is how the wind flow chart is looking from earthnullschool.net today. So, well, we're under a slight little bump of higher pressure today, actually. We've got lower pressure to our north and also out to the Atlantic, but we have got some lighter winds through here. So just a slight little bump of higher pressure with us today. However, overall the pattern remains pretty mixed. We do still have quite a lot of low pressure in the Atlantic, I have to say, both to our north and to our west, as well as we see with low pressure there and another low pressure there. There's another low pressure there and around there too. So there's still quite a bit of low pressure in the Atlantic at the moment. This is how the UK Met is looking for Thursday. So UK Met on Thursday is bringing one of those areas of low pressure into northern Scotland, but England and Wales have a slight little ridge of high pressure still. Now, as we go into the end of the week and next weekend, it turns increasingly unsettled then with low pressure coming in off the Atlantic. That's not just a trough, that is an area of low pressure. It's moving in off the Atlantic next weekend, probably bring showers and longer spells of rain. Winds are in from the northwest, so temperatures will remain pretty cool as well. GFS 6Z run is looking like this. So again, we've got an area of low pressure across Scotland on Thursday. That will bring showers, if not some longer spells of rain. England and Wales under a little bump of high pressure. Perhaps a bit drier there. Into the end of week, a trough is sinking down across the country. That's bringing an increasing risk of showers. And then at the weekend, low pressure heads in off the Atlantic, being showers or longer spells of rain and cool temperatures as well. Into next week, well, low pressure keeps coming into the northern part of the country. A little bit of a bump of higher pressure is getting going in the south. And then up to day 10, just generally staying a little bit mixed. This is the midnight run of the GFS, by the way. I'm going to show you 6Z in a moment. But staying a bit mixed up to day 10 with a midnight GFS run. Slight bump of high pressure down to southwest. Otherwise, quite unsettled. Into more extended range. Again, low pressure just keeps coming. Probably turning increasingly unsettled really through the early part of August. And disappointing temperatures too. This is the 6Z GFS. So, again, it's looking rather showery on Thursday, particularly so up in the north. Friday into weekend, low pressure comes in off the Atlantic, mapping further showers, if not longer spells of rain as well. Early next week, heights are rising in the south, bringing some drier, warmer weather to southern parts of the country, still quite unsettled, though, up in the north. Heading up towards day 10, this 6Z GFS run is a little bit different. It is trying to pull up some warmth from the south, but not quite pulling it off. Still, we just don't get rid of these areas of low pressure to our north. So, at day 10, for example, we are trying to pull up some heat from the south, but this trough of low pressure coming off the Atlantic is keeping things generally quite unsettled. Some areas probably a little bit warmer, though, by this point. Now, in the more extended range, this 6Z GFS run does have a go at pulling up some proper heat from the south. So these are the upper air temperatures at 300 hours, which is for the first day of August. Looking really hot at this point across France, down to Spain and Portugal. And that heat is trying to push northwards. However, all that it achieves is to generate an area of low pressure. So this is Sunday the 2nd of August. Yes, the heat has pushed northwards, and we probably do, at least the southern areas, probably do tap in to some of that heat, but it's just blowing up an area of low pressure, and so that will bring torrential rain and thunderstorms, with the heat providing the energy for those big showers and storms. All of that gets swept away by the 3rd of August, and we go back into those cool, fresh westerly winds. And by the end of the GFS run, 6Z run, which is the 5th of August, we've got a little ridge of high pressure down to our southwest. Overall looking unsettled and changeable with both GFS runs today. GM looks like that again, a little bit of a ridge on Thursday, showery up in the south, showery up in the north. Into next weekend, just rather unsettled, really, particularly so for northern and western parts of the country, but all areas could be a little bit on the mixed side. That's how we look with GM as we get to day 10. So again, potentially trying to drag up a little bit of warmth from the south at day 10. There's the upper air temperatures, trying to drag up a little bit of warmth from the south perhaps, but low pressure is still in the Atlantic, and if we did pull up any warmth from the south, I think it would very quickly blow up into a thundery area of low pressure. But maybe one or two hints of something a little bit warmer around day 10, which is the start of August, or just more or less getting to the start of August. We look at the ECM next. Again, Thursday, a bit of a ridge in the south, should be relatively dry there, showery up in the north. Into the weekend, it's a case of further showers and longer spells of rain coming in with those areas of low pressure. Early next week, again, trying to pull up a bit of warmth from the south, but never getting rid of these areas of low pressure up to the north. That's how the upper air temperatures look for Wednesday, the 29th of July. Quite warm in the south. But it all still looks rather changeable, I have to say, as we get to day 10, which is Thursday, the 30th of July. Again, the suggestion is that there's a ridge out to west-southwest that's trying to build in across the country. So it's possible we could start to generate something a little bit warmer and drier around day 10, or certainly warmer, but if we do, I think it'll generate into thunderstorms quite quickly, and I don't want to go too far with that idea at the moment, to be honest. It looks changeable, I think, for the next week to 10 days. This is the precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from Tibetcho.com. So we'll just run through this very quickly. So showers in the north over the next few days, otherwise quite dry in the south. In towards the end of the week and weekend, starting to go a little bit more unsettled, even in more southern parts of the country. That's into the weekend, showers or longer spells of rain in many areas. Heading up towards day 10, beginning to dry out in the south, still quite unsettled up in the north and in the west too. These are the options, or this is the option that's on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10 from the Icelandic Met Office. It gets us to the 30th of July. 51 out of 51 members of the ECM ensembles with low pressure to the north, high pressure to the south at day 10, looking flat and westerly, not particularly exciting. 2 weeks time, these are the options that we've got. This gets us to the 4th of August. We've got 22 members of the ECM ensembles with low pressure to our east, high pressure out to the northwest. They're going to be quite cool and unsettled. 17 with high pressure to the north and to the south, probably some sort of shallow trough through here, and then 12 with high pressure to the southwest, trying to ridge up. That could be the driest option, but all options really in 2 weeks time looking a little bit flimsy and a little bit on the mixed side. CFS finally, so these are 500 millibar heights moving down to weak periods. Our first weak period takes from 20th, 26th of July. The coming week has low pressure to our east, a high area of high pressure to the west. Looks a bit cool and showery in the week ahead. Week 2 is the 27th of July to the 2nd of August. Low pressure going to the north and northeast. High pressure out to southwest. Winds are in from a west to northwesterly direction. Rather cool and showery again. Week 3 is the 3rd to the 9th of August. Ridge is beginning to get going to our southwest then. Low pressure being pushed out to the north. That might be trying to settle things down a little bit as we go through the first full week of August. Then we get through to week 4, which is going to be the 10th to the 16th of August. And we have an area of high pressure then over the country and ridging to the north. Low pressures out to the northwest. Jet stream and flows going something like that. That could be warmer and drier there as we move into the middle part of August. Temperature anomalies for the week ahead from 7th V2, 20th, 26th of July, cooler than average. Week 2 temperature anomalies 27th of July to 2nd of August is also significantly below average. Week 3 temperature anomaly 3rd to the 9th of August is also cooler than average. This was when it looked like higher pressure would start to build up from the southwest, of course. Week 4 temperature anomalies from the 10th to 16th of August. Perhaps going a little bit warmer than average down in the south, but a bit modest with temperatures even then, really. Precipitation finally, week 1 rainfall anomaly is close to average. Week 2 rainfall anomaly hints at being a little bit wetter than average, if anything, from the 27th of July to the 2nd of August, particularly to the north and west. Week 3 is the 3rd to the 9th of August. That one also close to average with rainfall. Week 4 is the 10th to the 16th of August. Close to average too, perhaps a little bit on the drier than average side. To be honest, it's a mixed bag, as it has been throughout this summer. So there's no sign of anything desperately settled and hot coming up. It all looks rather mixed, I have to say. Rather cool, rather changeable. At times we have a go at bringing some warmer weather into the south. That's particularly perhaps around the day 10 time frame, around day 10, 11, 12. We might pull up some warmth from the south. If we do, I think it's going to very quickly break down into storms. And just generally, it's a mixed outlook, really, over the next week to 10 days. No sign of a sustained, sort of long-lasting build of pressure from the Azores as we go into the final stages of July. So this mixed summer, this mixed July continues certainly for the next week to 10 days. But a very exciting video today. Hope you found it interesting and informative. We had a lot to catch up on after my break last week, particularly all of that CT data. So, yeah, I hope you found it interesting. Please give us a like on the video. Let us know in the comments what you think. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're going to have the latest USA update coming up for you later on this evening. But for this video, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.